everyone, Maxine here with Tink and I Treasures. Welcome back to my studio. Today I thought we would just have kind of a play. I thought about making some background pages, maybe a background to then embellish for tags or journaling cards. And I have a paper pad here of watercolor paper. I don't know what the paper is because this pad doesn't say. So it's probably not, well, it's not watercolor paper I would buy if I was actually painting a, watercolor. But it's going to be fine for this. I have got it wet with the spray bottle. I just sprayed around like that, so it's a little wet. And I do have a number 16 round. I hope I'm in frame. I can't tell. Number 16 round. Turn on some more light here. Okay, so so I thought, get this a little wet here. I am using Holbein watercolors and M-Gram watercolors, which are, a higher price point. It's not necessary for something like this, but, being that I am a watercolor artist, I do tend to have more expensive paint, but it's certainly not necessary for this project. You could use acrylics too. Watered down acrylics would work really well. So yeah, just use whatever you have, If you have some, children's or student grade watercolors, that would work just fine. We're just, we're just getting some color on the paper. I hope everyone is well and doing good, having a good week, enjoying some crafting time, enjoying the summer. What have you been up to? Have you gone on vacation? Where have you gone? Just tell us. Leave in the comments and let us know what you're up to and what you enjoyed. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to get it. I don't want it covered, solidly or anything like that. I just want, and this is probably too much. I tend to do that. I tend to go overboard a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to, not all over. Definitely not the same. I want varying degrees of dark to light and what have you. So now, let's see, that was burnt umber, for anyone that wants to know. That was burnt umber, and then I have some raw umber. So we can put that down. Burnt has more of a red undertone in general. Anything that says burnt is going to have more of a red undertone. So, I'm sure you can't see my palette. I will show you so you're not wondering. This is it. I like this one and I don't like this one. I like it because it has nice deep places for the paints and, you know, a nice mixing area, although I don't tend to mix here as much. I let watercolors mix themselves, which is more interesting. But the thing I don't like about it is that it is so big. And the table I used to work at had a lot more room than what I have now. So, I'm more aware of a behemoth palette that's taking up half my desk here. So now I love blue and brown. So I thought I would do a blue and brown. And so I think I'm going to go, this is M. Graham, and this is Phthalo Blue, which is super pretty. Blue. Just kind of anywhere here. Just kind of playing. Not really, not overthinking or don't really have a plan. Just having a little bit of a play and getting colors down. Now, what's really good to do with something like this is once you've put the paint down, let it dry naturally. You're going to get more interesting things happening with the paint, with the color. Well, it depends on what kind of paint you're using. No, I shouldn't say that. With the higher grade professional watercolors, you get a lot of interesting mixing of the paint if you can just leave it and let it dry on its own. So I have one thing of water that's for dirty and another thing of water that's for clean. My problem is that my clean usually ends up being dirty. I have a hard time keeping them separate. Okay, I'm gonna take a water bottle and give this some squirts because I want blooming if I can get it. It's you have to be at the right point of dryness or wetness, as it were, to get a bloom. And most watercolor artists try to stay away from blooms. And yeah, I mean, I do too. If I'm painting a picture, you probably don't want blooms. But in something like this, getting a bloom is kind of nice. So I don't know if I can get any of these two. Earlier I did kind of a pink to purple. And then I added some gold. What is this? Alcohol ink, I guess it is. I just went over some gold. And then this one I did earlier, which is the blues and the greens. And then I took some alcohol ink again in the gold and some blue color. And then this one, I guess that's a black. and it's alcohol inks, and I just kind of went over like this, and I'll show you with the one we're doing now. Just thought, you know, just wondered what that would look like. So I'm having a hard, I don't use these very often, and I'm having a hard time with this one separating. When I first started using it, the only thing coming out was the alcohol. So I hope I'm in frame. Ooh. Anyway, so I'm just going to start moving. And hopefully I'm moving good enough to get that little swoosh. I like that little swoosh. Now you could do this and you could put dots or what, you know, whatever you want to do. I like the swoosh. And I'm seeing something happening here that I would really like to encourage. So I'm going to take this and just go over this lightly. You know, I don't want to damage the paper or anything like that, but I'm seeing if I can get some of these effects that I saw it start to happen when I hit the nozzle from the alcohol ink on the paper and saw it make that mark, and I thought, oh. So there we go with that one. So see, that took no time at all, huh? So I'll put that over to the side. I'm gonna run out of places to put this paper as it dries. Okay, what other color combinations do we want to do? We did the pinks and the purple, which I'm not real enamored with. So let's see if we can't do better, huh? I'm going to wet my page again. You could do this on dry paper. I like working wet on wet, but you could totally do dry. You get much more, well, you get different effects with dry. So I am going to, not sure, maybe some gray, rose madder, listen crimson, maybe. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right, this is Holbein, Alinson Crimson, and it's kind of a pinky red. So let's spread that around. I'm trying not to use such a heavy hand. In my watercolors, I always strive for, you know, the loose look. I don't like realistic. In my opinion, you know, if you're going to get realistic, you might as well just take a photo, right? So I like the Impressionism. I like Impressionist watercolors. Of course, Monet is like my favorite. And, you know, I'm sure he's everyone's favorite, right? But so I like Impressionism. I like the looser watercolors. I like the impression of a flower more than an actual painting of a flower. Does that make sense? Like I said, you know, take a picture, you know, if that's what you want. So I like the impression of a flower. I was messing about earlier today, and I did this one. Hopefully that's in frame. I can't tell. But see, something like that, it's more impressionistic, but I just love that. I just love that. So Anyway, back to what we were doing here. So I'm just trying to move maybe some glumps that I don't particularly like. Of course, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference because, you know, we could totally be covering this up for the most part, you know, when we go to embellish and things like that. This is just background paper, really. You know, if you were going to use this, well, I don't know that I would use this paper to actually as pages in a journal. They're too stiff, they're too heavy for pages of a watercolor journal. They're more something you would use for a tag or a journaling card or something like that. Pocket. Okay, let's see. Now let's go with, this is Holbein Opera, which is gorgeous. And this color mixed with Holbein Peacock makes the most beautiful purple. In fact, of all the colors you would use to make purple, which is, you know, reds and blues, the combination of Holbein Opera and Peacock is, in my opinion, the prettiest. But, you know, these paints, they were expensive when I started watercoloring. They're even more so now. So, yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot. Mostly in different palettes. I have a ton of palettes. I don't know what my deal was with palettes. I kept buying palette after palette after palette. I don't know why. Thinking, oh, if I have the right palette, I'll paint better. No, when it comes to painting, the most important element is the paint. The second, very close second element is the paper. Beyond that, you know, brushes, but, you know, with watercolor, yeah, the most important elements are paint and paper. When I first started, I didn't even know what I was doing, right? So I went to the store, I think it was Michael's, which Michael's does not have fine art, so don't even, right? And they had Winsor Newton Coltman, which I didn't know at the time, but Coltman is their student grade watercolors. And then I got some paper. I don't even know what it was. And oh my God, I couldn't get anything to turn out. I got very discouraged. I thought, well, obviously I can't paint. Look at this. This is awful, right? And then I went to, it was a day watercolor class, and from an artist locally. And she supplied the paint and the paper. And it was the M. Graham paint, which I love. And they're actually, not only are they made in the US, but they're made right here in Oregon. So that's awesome. And I love M. Graham. It's a beautiful, beautiful watercolor. Anyway, so she gave us paint and paper. I think it was Arches paper, which is, of course is, you know, kind of the cream of the crop. It's right up there with a few others. And oh my God, I was so surprised. I mean, seriously. And right then I realized it's the paint and the paper. That's why I couldn't get things to turn out. It was the paint and the paper, because what I painted that day in that class was absolutely gorgeous. It was a rose, and I actually framed it. You know, it turned out beautiful, if I do say so myself. And yeah, it was the paint and the paper that I had been using at home that was the problem. So, you know, brushes, I mean, you really cheap brushes are, you know, really cheap brushes, and hairs come off in your painting, which is annoying, you know, but yeah, the money place when it comes to watercolor is definitely the paint and the paper. I don't know. I just went off on a tangent, didn't I? You guys are junk journalists, junk journaling. I'm sure you have no interest in watercolor and watercolor painting and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I just thought I would, you know me, I like to give tips and tricks and little pieces of knowledge. Now I'm using a Holbein Gray of Gray is what it's called. And it's really a pretty color. I always enjoy using it. So I thought, well, you know, maybe a little bit of gray in here would be good. What else? Anything? Can we think of anything? We don't want to go crazy. I'm really liking how this is turning out. It's much better than the first one I did. It's very heavy with the purples, and I tried to use a funky color. It wasn't one of my watercolors. It's something else I have that I tried using on this one. It's these glops here. Some other stuff I have. It's a powder. I'll show you what it is. Maybe somebody knows. This is what it is. And I've had it for quite a while, and I have no idea what you're supposed to do with it. I have several colors. Oops. It says lindasgang.com. lindasgang.com. I don't remember where I got these. I don't remember. I bought them because they were so pretty, but I still have not been able to figure out how to use them or what to do with them. So, let's see. So yeah, we're getting some really neat little designs in here, and I keep messing about and messing them up, really. So as this is back with the alizarin crimson. Just putting back in some darker areas. This is so much fun, I'll tell you. It's very relaxing, especially if you're not trying to, you know, you're not trying to paint a masterpiece. You're just making your own background, you know. And then I thought, you know, we could, after these are dry, we could stamp, we could stencil, you know, we could do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's just like making our own designer paper, really. We've done that before on this channel. Have we not? In my studio, we've done that before, made our own special designer papers. Sometimes they turn out really good, and sometimes not so much, but you know, that's what you get. You know, you just never know what you're going to get, right? It's like a box of chocolates. But yeah, this is pretty. Don't you think that's pretty? I think it's pretty. I hope it's coming through on the camera. Who knows? But yeah, it's really pretty. And that gray is actually, I don't know, I'm seeing a little tint of blue in the gray, which isn't bad. It's a hint rather than, oh, it's blue. You know, it's more of a hint of blue, and I don't think I want to do anything more. Let me see. I don't know if we're at that bloom spot. See what happens when we touch some water. Oh, yeah, I got a little bit of a bloom. You probably can't see that on the video, unfortunately. It's pretty subtle. You know, I make blooms all the time when I was watercolor painting, and I didn't mean to. Now that I want to do it, it's just not cooperating. So you could tilt it and have it run, you know, if you got some areas. Help it along a little bit. So I like that. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I keep messing with it and touching it and just gonna mess it all up. I don't know if I can get those marks in here or not. I really kind of like those. If you do this at the right point between wet and dry, you can get these marks to show up. So, yeah. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about the fact that I do have an Etsy shop, and I do have some journals for sale, not anywhere near the journals I have finished, because Etsy charges. So, you know, I decided to reduce the amount of inventory that I actually have listed because Etsy charges for your listings all the time, and you know, it's just ridiculous. So I removed some, but I still have some on there, and as those sell, I will put out more. I do have some digitals, and they're not computerized digitals. They are handmade. Whatever they are, they're handmade. They're not computer generated. And I do have some glue bottle jewelry, which is what I call these things. I call that glue bottle jewelry. And I do have some of those on in my shop. So I encourage people to take a look. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Hit the little bell so you get notified I only put up a video twice a week, on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So you're not going to be inundated with a bunch of notifications of videos. You know, some of them, you know, they put up a video every day, or sometimes it seems like several times a day. I don't know, but you know, you constantly get inundated with notifications of a new video, and it gets overwhelming. At least for me, it does. But so I only put it up twice a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays. Once in a while, I might have a third one if it's something special or something really short or a finished journal that I want to share, something like that. But, you know, so I am really liking this. I'm right. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know if that's coming through on the video very well, but yeah, that gray is just giving a very subtle blue. At least my eyes are seeing blue in there. And then I really like this area here with what the paint did. And yeah, so watercolor is so much fun. Watercolor paint, good quality watercolor paint, is so much fun because, you know, you put it down and it explodes. You know, so let me, like again, you know, you probably don't care, but, so I'm going to get some water and I'm going to put down some water right here. Okay, right there. And I am going to get, M. Graham, which is, you know, like I said, it's my favorite. And this is sap green, which, you know, the color is really no matter. I hope I'm in frame. Look at that. Isn't that fun? It's that explosion. Look at that. Look at that explosion. I mean, right there. Is that not a flower? I mean, come on. Is that not a flower? You know, it is just, and not all paints do this. M. Graham does it. I believe Holbein does it. Winsor Newton, no. I tried Winsor Newton once because everyone, you know, is, you know, whoa, Winsor Newton, right? So I got Winsor Newton's, and I did not find that it moved. It didn't move. I put it down and it just sat there looking at me like, what do you want me to do now? You know, and I thought, well, that's no fun. So that's what I like about watercolor, is the explosion. You put it down, and this paper isn't the greatest either. If I had really good paper, this would really have exploded even more so. This, I didn't even know what this paper is. But, you know, isn't that fun? And then when it dries, I mean, you've already got a flower going on there. You know, it kind of paints itself. So now it's starting to dry, so now I can kind of darken that middle area. Got a bubble in there. Oh, see, and I just put a dirty brush into my clean water. So now my clean water isn't clean anymore. But isn't that fun? Look at that. Can you see how that just explodes out, and, you know, it kind of just paints itself. It's so much fun. Anyway, never mind that. Like I said, you know, this isn't a watercolor class, is it? So, and I like using these wash rags. What are they called? Washcloths. I like using these instead of paper towels and stuff like that, just because, well, they're just more, well, they're more economical, you know, to be honest. They're more economical, and plus, you know, they're just more earth-friendly, too, you know what I mean? I'm not filling the landfills with a bunch of paper towels. Anyway, I have some coffee, so I'm gonna put this over somewhere to, oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? This is my favorite one, I think. Although this one is really cool too. I like that. So let's put that over to the side to dry somewhere. This one I did the other day, so except for these little marks that I did earlier today, just to see how that would work. For the most part, you know, this is dry. So what do you want to do now? Huh? What shall we do now? Oh, I don't know. We got a whole bunch of new thingies. Some of these I got off of Temu. I'll tell you about Temu. Yeah, I am not happy. So, rings. I ordered a ring in a size 7. I swear it said size 7 on the package, but I swear it's a 5. I can't wear it to save, you know, to save my soul. And I know what sizes I wear, right? So, you know, I ordered a 7 and I got a 5, and there's nothing I can do with it. And I also ordered, it's a spray bottle that you put olive oil in, and then you can use it, you know, use it to spray olive oil. They don't package things appropriately, and the bottle was glass. And so it came in, you know, their stupid packaging, right? That's just kind of a floppy bag. And it was, the bottle itself was in a small box, you know, kind of like this, only bigger, of course. But I opened the box and glass pieces went everywhere. Oh, it was a nightmare. And, you know, I have a cat, so it was really important to me to get all that glass up. You know, I don't want my baby kitty to find glass with his paws. So yeah, I was not thrilled with that. So, you know, their prices are great, but I guess you just got to be careful what it is you're buying. You know, that's just like with anything, I suppose. You just got to be careful what it is you're buying. Let's see. Where'd my... Oh. I can't even... I think this is something I got on Temu. I can't even tell what color it is. I still can't tell what color it is. It says gray shades. Does it? But... Oh, maybe that would work. Well, let's see. So yeah, I was not real happy with Temu. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, they really don't have a customer service. They really don't have a way to return anything. You know, I tried, and it was not worth the aggravation, really. I mean, I don't know how much that bottle was for spraying olive oil, you know. I mean, I'm sure it was more than $1, but you know, what are you gonna do? I couldn't find an avenue in which, you know, to do anything about it, you know. I finally contacted them on Facebook, I think it was. And they said, you know, you need to go to the website or what have you. Well, I went to the website initially when I opened the box, and the bottle came out all in pieces. And it only had a thing about returning the whole order, you know, in its entirety, the whole order. Well, I don't want to return the whole order. I just want to return that spray bottle, or for them to send me a replacement. And you know, they just they don't have a mechanism in place to do that easily, at least not that I found. So I'm passing that on as just you know, little reminder to just, I don't know, just be careful of what it is you're buying, I guess. Because if you do have a reason to have to return something, you know, it's probably not going to happen. What is this? I've never quite understood this stamp. It's got writing going this way, and then over the top going that way, and then here. This in the middle is fine, but you can't just use that. I don't know. I suppose I could cut that, right? I don't know. I did that one time and I really regretted it. I cut a stamp. It was so big, you know, and so I cut it, and I've kind of regretted that. I don't know about that color. Let's see about this one. It's kind of a green, I think. Ugh. So anyway, yeah, you know, I've gotten a lot of stuff from Temu. I've had several unboxings, and, you know, a lot of things I've been, you know, happy enough with. I mean, you know, but, yeah, you run across something like that that isn't what you had hoped for, and then you find out exactly what, you know, what those low prices actually don't get you much in the way of customer service, you know. So, and I have ran across on the Temu site die cuts that, in my opinion, are knockoffs from Tim Holtz. So that's wrong. I don't like that. Even though I don't like paying Tim Holtz prices, I still don't like it when, you know, they rip off somebody else. And I don't know, these die cuts are real similar to the ones I have that are Tim Holtz. So I was actually surprised when I ran across those. So I'm not, you know, I wouldn't buy something like that if I know for a fact that, you know, that's somebody else's design. I wouldn't buy it. kind of. Why? Oh. That is really stuck down in there. Hang on, I'm sorry. You know, these things were wildly expensive. And, you know, I just want to take care of them as much as possible, you know. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to come on today and just give some, I don't know, some inspiration, I guess. This is not really a how-to so much as, have you thought of this type of thing, you know? So, I love these. I love that little splash stamp. I think that's so much fun. I don't want to do anything specific like these are, you know, they're specific. And I really didn't want to do specific. Same way with these. I mean, you know, they're just specific, whether these are just, you know, the look of script and the look of a splash, you know, instead of having something that is a definite something. Okay. I wonder, now these are pretty juicy. I could end up with a whole lot more than what I want. So let's see what that does over here. I hope you see that. Am I in frame? I'm probably not. Oh my goodness. There. I don't know if you can see that right there. I did. That's nice. I like this stamp. I don't use it hardly at all. Well, it looks like I've used it a lot, but I really haven't. Yeah, I'm liking that. Just little kind of subtle background type of pattern. That is nice. I like that. What do you think? Are you seeing this? Oh golly, I hope you're seeing this. I should probably stand up and make sure. This might be harder than I think it is. Hang on. Oh yeah, I'm good. I wish I had a better way of being able to tell if I'm in frame or not. Yeah, it's just standing up is difficult, especially when I've been sitting here for a while playing. You know, I go to stand up and it's like, oops. There we go. That's nice. I like that. Are we seeing this? I'll hold this up so you can see. So this is where I first started with the alcohol ink, and I got a circle, and it's like, oh, I don't want a circle. But then I got these swishes going on, and I really like those, especially with the black. I was able to really get really good swishes with the black. So anyway, so that's all I had for today, really. I just wanted to come along and just kind of share a little bit of inspiration and, you know, give you some ideas on, you know, making your own background paper. You know, if you have a printer, you could totally make something like this on this heavier paper, right? Put it in your printer and copy it onto, you know, normal, you know, 28-pound copy paper or something like that. And then you could use it as a background, you know, page in your journal, you know. You could do that. So anyway, yeah, thank you for joining me today, guys. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. And until then, take care of you. Love each other, and I'll see you again. Bye.